Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Jack, coach of your Naturally Wobbuffet, bringing you our Week 4 live team builder versus our first interdivision match, Skirk and the Mighty Mimikyus. His team you see over there on your far right. In my opinion, he has hands down the best team in the league this season, just because his first four Mons are such a solid core, and then the rest of his seven Mons just like really complement those first four picks super well. So his first pick is the Tapu Bulu, which he MVP'd from last season. A really solid Mon. I really love Tapu Bulu. It's my favorite of the Gen 7 Tapus. Just really hits really hard with base 130 attack stat, grassy terrain. Horn Leech Woodhammer, it gets Stone Edge, Superpower, Mega Horn for nice coverage moves. It is pretty one-dimensional, though. You can run it Banded or like Swords Dance. You can run it like a sub Leech Seed, Horn Leech set, but overall, it's basically just going to be a really hard-hitting physical attacker. He has brought it Scarfed in the past, I believe. I don't remember if he has brought it into an official matchup, but we've played a couple of practice matches, and I do remember he does bring Scarf Bulu from time to time, so that is something to look out for. But yeah, it's just a solid mon overall. Second mon is a perfect complement to Bulu. Heatran, which is one of his Z captains. Of course, Bulu sets up the grassy terrain, which weakens the power of Earthquake for the Heatran, so makes Earthquake a less spammable move against his team. But it's just a really good fire type with that flash fire ability, giving it an S immunity. A really good steel type as well, which then of course is running out his Fairy Steel Dragon Core in Zygarde 50%, his third pick. Yeah, his first three picks overall are just like so good and so hard to prep for, because he has the Tapu Bulu, which is immediate physical power, Heatran, which is immediate special power, which can also be run pretty bulky and run like Stealth Rocks, could be a phaser with Roar, can be run Scarfed or more offensive like Spectral Life Orb. And then Zygarde, his setup potential with Dragon Dance, Subcoil, that kind of stuff. It's just so hard to prep for those mons, especially with my team. I tend to run more defensive teams, but the problem with my team, which I'll get to more in a little bit, is that it's so hard to bring any one or two mons that perfectly wall those three threats that he just has. Because any one of my mons can wall one, maybe two of those, but then just gets bopped by the third one. So my defensive core that I bring this week is really reliant on effectiveness on what he brings himself. Then he has the Slowbro, his other Z captain. He's been running it insanely well so far this season. Just these 3 weeks has an insane amount of kills. I think it's his like kill leader, which is really surprising for a defensive mon in Slowbro, but he's just been really liking that calm mindset. And then it does get a really nice move pool as well, so it can run Z crystals pretty reliably, as well as it can't get knocked off anymore, making knockoff a less reliable, less spammable move against the Slowbro, which would generally do some pretty massive damage. Next one he has is a Savali, a really good mon overall. I was kind of looking at it during the draft, but I decided I didn't really want it. But just the ability to be able to bring any type that you need every week. It also gets access to Defog, Parting Shot, U-Turn. It's just a really good... it's not super good as an offensive mon, although it does get Swords Dance. For me, it's just a really solid defensive pivot with access to Defog, U-Turn, and Parting Shot, and being able to adapt your typing to your opponent to be able to cover up any holes your team has. Next one he has is Girder, a super solid mon. It is a tier 5, I believe, if not maybe a tier 4, but I'm pretty sure it's tier 5. But it's just really bulky with Evilite. Not quite as good as Conkeldurr, but definitely worth the pick in the lower tiers. And he's been doing a pretty good job with it this week, or this season. Mega Bayonet is his Mega Pokemon. I don't remember if he's actually brought it so far this season. I don't think he's going to bring it against me just because it doesn't do too much. It does get Prankster, Will-O-Wisp, and Destiny Ball, which is always something to watch out for. But yeah, I do have the two Dark types that are immune to all of his Prankster moves, so I'm not sure if he's going to be bringing that. Next one is the Ferrothorn, a really good mon, just really bulky. it is 4 times weak to fires, but if he does bring the Heatran, that easily covers that weakness to fire pretty well. So those two do make a really good core, even though they are both steel types and share some common weaknesses. Ferrothorn is just super bulky, can set up Stealth Rocks and Spikes, and just sit there with Iron Barb slowly whittling away at my physically offensive mons. Then he has the Xatu, which could possibly be a bring if he's thinking I want a hazard stack against him. He can try to magic bounce my hazards back at me, which could be a bit of a problem. But other than just sitting there and preventing me from getting up hazards, I don't see much usefulness in Xatu this week, so I don't think it's one of his more likely brings. But it is likely in case he doesn't want me to get too many hazards up. Next one he has is Quillfish. He's been using that pretty effectively this season as well. It's really good with the Intimidate and being able to reliably come in, intimidate something, and then live a super effective physical hit, and then be able to get up spikes, toxic spikes, taunt something. It has decent speed. But yeah, Quillfish is a pretty good mon. And then last mon he has is the Luxray. Which could have been really effective against my team until I did make a trade, which I'll get into in a moment, because my team was pretty weak to electric. So you could have brought like Scarf Luxray to be able to freely Volt Switch around my team. But other than that, like if he does bring Luxray, I think it's going to be Scarf, so he can take advantage of the Volt Switching around. He could bring like Guts like Flame or Toxic Orb is an option as well. But yeah, so that's his team. He's just got really scary mons. His top four mons and Girder, just huge powerhouses. A lot of them being able to set up, and depending on which ones he brings, I want to go for one mon or the other. It's just really hard to prep for his team. Like I said, he has the best team in the entire season, in my opinion, just because he doesn't have the biggest offensive threats, maybe, or the best wall breakers, but just his combinations of all those different types of things he can bring makes it so hard to prep for him, and it really allows him to adapt his offensive presence as well as keeping a solid defensive presence at the same time. But then going into my team, so like I mentioned, I did make a trade. I traded Braviary for the Zygarde 10%. I was looking at the rest of the season, and I decided that I didn't really think I was going to bring Braviary that often. It was really nice to have the Defiant ability in case my opponent wants to keep coming in and defogging my hazards away. I can come in and get that Defiant boost. But I decided that just looking at the rest of my matchups, I didn't see many opportunities where even having the Defiant ability really justified bringing Braviary. So I decided to trade it for Zygarde 10%. And I'm really happy with this trade. I love Zygarde 10%. I actually prefer it over 50% just because I really like that little extra speed. I was kind of mentioning earlier in the season how I was a little uncomfortable with my speed tiers. I really like having a mon that's above a base 100. So Zygarde gives me that. It gives me the most spammable move in the game. 1,000 arrows. It gives me access to some much needed priority on my team and extreme speed. It gives me a setup sweeper in Dragon Dance and or Coil. But yeah, Zygarde 10%. I'm really happy with this trade. It does give me another ground type, which makes me slightly less electric weak. Of course, it is relatively frail, so HP Ice does do a number to it. But yeah, I'm really excited for this trade, and I might be bringing it this week. We'll have to see how the team builder goes. But yeah, so actually going into the actual team building, I do know one mon that I want to bring this week, and that mon is Drapion. Set it to level 50. Nickname you Leg Day, not Daddy. And the reason I want to bring Drapion is for the Scope Lens Sniper set. So with the Sniper ability, critical hits do 2.25 times the damage, which is insane. And then with the Scope Lens, that critical hit ratio is raised by 1 stage, and then it does get access to Cross Poison and Night Slash. So with the Cross Poison, Night Slash, and the Scope Lens, the chance to crit on those two moves is actually a 50-50 chance, which is actually insane combined with the Sniper ability. I have used this in the ladder before, I know it does get a little bit hacksy, but I just really think that looking at his team, it can do a lot of work. His cross poison just demolishes Bulu. Heatran, I do need a little bit of chip damage on. Zygarde is obviously super bulky, but it's Slowbro, getting that nice crit, depending on the Savali, could do a lot of damage to that. Bennett, bye-bye. Ferrothorn, I do need a little bit of chip damage, but Xatu, Quillfish, Luxray, all take. Obviously, his Intimidate users in Quillfish and Luxray. If I get a crit on them, that does not matter because crits ignore stat decreases. And then for my third move, I'm just going to go with the Ice Fang and Sword Stance. So the nice thing about the Ice Fang is that if I do get a crit, obviously it's not a 50% chance because Ice Fang does not have the increased chance like Night Slash or Cross Poison. But I think it's still like just under a 20% chance to crit with Ice Fang. And if he brings like a coil Zygarde, obviously the crit just ignores all of his defensive boosts, and it is a one-hit KO even unboosted. And then of course if I do get the Sword Stance up, I don't need the crit at all. And then I am going to run max speed Jolly because he has quite a few mons at that base 95 speed tier, like Zygarde, like Silvally, like Xatu, that I want to make sure that I at least speed tie with, if not outspeed. And then give that extra 4 to defense for the extreme speeds that's going to be coming on our way. So yeah, I really like Drapion this week. It could put in a lot of damage. I think it might be my late game cleaner depending on what he brings and how his defensive mons are looking towards the end of the game. But yeah, so mons that Drapion have problems with are Heatran, Zygarde if he's set up, Ferrothorn, and Girder. Girder is also a problem. So, what on my team takes care of all those? Mew can potentially, depending on what I set up. Mew is always an option. Obviously, I can modify it to take on all those mons with like Ice Beam, Earth Power, Flamethrower, Psychic. But I don't want to just jump in and make that Mew set as well because I like modifying my Mew to fix the holes at the end of the team that I don't have. Because that's the beauty of Mew. You can modify it to fix the few holes you have once you're done building your team. You don't have to, unless you already have a set that you want to bring. You can wait till the end of the team builder. Wait till you're done building your team to kind of see, all right, what do I need on my Mew to kind of modify? So we'll keep Mew in the back of our mind. Araquanid does do pretty nice because it can Scald the Zygarde, hoping for a burn. And then obviously Scald as a number 2 Heatran. The problem is if he brings Guts Girder, then it loves taking the Scalds. But I do like Araquanid this match, especially since it completely walls the Heatran. So we'll add the Araquanid. Not sure what set is going to be yet. Let's find out what... I want to see what Scald does to Zygarde if it breaks a sub. Scald. Obviously, Liquidation, as we see right here, would break a sub. But Scald does, even if he is... Yeah, even uninvested Adamant, so minus special attack nature, Scald does guarantee break a sub if he's no SPDF investment and only in 252 HP. So that's really good to know. I like the Scald because even if he starts setting up coils, then obviously Liquidation will be doing less and less, and Scald does have the burn chance as well, which would be really nice to cripple the Zygarde. So let's put in the Scald. And then we'll leave the rest of the set because I don't know if I want to bring Sticky Webs. I could bring like an Assault Vest thing to make sure I can absolutely eat hits from stuff like Heatran and the Slowbro. Problem with the Slowbro though is, although I can eat hits from it, and even though I do have the super effective Leech Life against the Slowbro, it's probably not going to be doing much because only water moves do get that water bubble boost. Let's just see how much it does against Slowbro. Defensive pivot. If he's max defensive, Leech Life does 32 to 39%. So, I mean, we do outspeed the Slowbro, so we could beat it 1v1, potentially, as long as he doesn't toxic us. So, because as long as he goes for slack off, we're getting the damage off on him, and then potentially getting crits, and he's not getting any damage off on us. So that could be a possibility. But let's hold off on making the rest of our Araquanid set until later on and see what exactly we're needing. The other mon I definitely want is Chestnut because Chestnut does wall pretty well the Zygarde and the Bulu. Zygarde does get Zen Headbutt, and Bulu does get Mega Horn, which does hit Chestnut neutrally. But I can pretty reliably switch into those nicely. And do I need Bulletproof this week? I know he doesn't have anything that would run Sludge Bomb. What else does Bulletproof? Not Bullet. Okay, pausing the Team Builder video. What is Bulletproof Coffee? High performance coffee, oils, and supplements to power your life. Improve today. What the fuck? Alright, back to the Team Builder video. I just needed to know what Bulletproof Coffee was. Acid Spray, Aura Sphere, Bulletproof blocks Beak Blast? I did not know. That would have been good to know last week. Yeah, that meant Chestnut was immune to the Beak Blast from the Toucannon last week. That's interesting to know. Bullet Seed, Egg Bomb, Electro Ball, Energy Ball, Focus Blast, Gyro Ball, Ice Ball, Magnet Bomb, Rock Blast, Rock Wrecker, Seed Bomb, Sludge Bomb, Weather Ball, Zap Cannon. I don't think any of his mons actually, if they do get those moves, would actually use it against Chestnut. I guess, no, Bayonet is physical, never mind. Bayonet does get Shadow Ball, but it's not going to be running it. It's going to run a physical set. So I'm going to run Overgrow on my Chestnut, make it level 50. And then I want to make it so that I can possibly break a Zygarde's substitute. So Drain Punch at this set that we have right here, which is Adamant 160 Vs, does kill the Zygarde. Or does not kill the Zygarde. Breaks the Zygarde substitute. And offensive, not invested. But what about, because I want to make it more bulky, because it has to live hits both from Zygarde and from Bulu. 52. Yeah, I do have to run Adamant in order to be able to break Zygarde substitutes, which is problematic. I could run Seed Bomb instead of Earthquake. Seed Bomb. At 252, Bold, not Adamant. Seed Bomb guarantees kills the Zygarde substitute. Which could be a possibility. So I know I want I think I want Poison Jab on this for the Bulu. I want Leech Seed. I want Drain Punch. And I think I need Synthesis. I want Drain Punch for the Heatran switch in. It hits Zygarde neutrally. I should probably run Seed Bomb. Well, it's a give and take because if I run Drain Punch, I can hit the Ferrothorn. If I run Seed Bomb, I can break Zygarde substitutes. I can hit the Slowbro, but then I can't hit Ferrothorn. Seed Bomb also allows me to hit Quillfish neutrally. Yeah, I'm going to run Seed Bomb. And then Synthesis, I think. Plus... we might modify that set if we find that Ferrothorn could be giving us a bit more problem. Yeah, we'll see how our team is looking. So based on this, what does Zygarde have to be at? Where'd my... There it is. Yeah, okay. What does Zygarde have to be at for the Zen Headbutt to be doing 50%? He gets to... Zen Headbutt does 50% at +1. What is Bulu doing to us? Let's do Choice Banded. I did not know Bulu gets Zen Headbutt as well. Shoot, that makes it a bit more problematic, honestly. Makes Simon a bit less reliable. Because that was the main reason I want to run it, was for the Bulu chip damage, but Bulu gets Zen Headbutt and 2 KOs. I don't even think running max HP. Yeah, 61.3% chance to 2 KO. Shoot. Do we have anything else? Torkoal can take hits. I can't take a Stone Edge though, and I can't take 1,000 arrows. I think we're going to come back to Chestnut. I really want to run Zygarde. Zygarde 10%. I think I'm just going to run Banded this week. I do not have a nickname for Zygarde yet because I only made the trade a couple days ago and I haven't had time to think about it. But we are going to run 1,000 arrows, extreme speed, outrage, and Iron Tail. And I believe with the speed tiers, I can run Adamant Zygarde because the fastest mon is base 95. Yeah, and Drapion's 95, and even at base at 252 Jolly, it only hits 161. So I can actually run a little extra bulk. There we go. Yeah, so we can get that, get a nice Adamant Zygarde for that little extra chip damage. This will be really nice because 1,000 arrows is not weakened by grassy terrain, which means it's going to do heavy just going to knock out the Heatran. And he himself does not have a good switch into 1,000 arrows outside of Tapu Bulu, which the Iron Tail does do a number 2 as well. And he might be disinclined to bring the Tapu Bulu because I do have Chestnut, I have Doublé, which walls it completely. I have a Zygarde and a Drapion, a Houndoom, a Torkoal. I have a lot of things that just take hits from the Bulu pretty well, so I would be I would not be surprised if he ends up not bringing it. Yeah, so hopefully I'll have a nickname for the Zygarde by Tuesday when we Skirk and I fight. But that's going to be our Zygarde set. Next mon, I think I had to bring Houndoom. Mega Houndoom. For, holding the Flash Fire so I can switch into the Heatran. I have to run Hidden Power Ground for the Heatran. And then Flamethrower because we don't want to play with any misses. Dark Pulse. And let's see here. Dark Pulse, either Flamethrower, Dark Pulse. Girder's a problem. Dark Pulse. I don't know what that's going to be. Dark Pulse, Hidden Power Ground, Flamethrower. So I don't know what I want my... I think I might bring Destiny Bond. That could be potentially nice. Or Nasty Plot. Because I don't think I'm going to be Torkoal, so I think having the nice Nasty Plot potential could be really nice. Yeah, I'm going to bring the Destiny Bond. Again, I don't need to bring Timid. I can bring Modest. Bump that down to 162. All right, yeah, there we go. The Grim. So we are looking a bit more offensive this week with our two defensive switch-ins. I think the last one we're going to bring is our Mew. And I'm leaning towards a Munium Z set. This will allow us to break through the Girder. It allows us to be immune to the extreme speed as well as Shadow Sneaks from Bennett, as well as Mach Punch from Girder. And extremely increases the power of our Psychics, which he's actually pretty weak to Psychic. He has no Dark types. His best Psychic switch-in is Ferrothorn and the Heatran. He could bring Savali Dark if he wanted to, but we can... It's so hard to prepare for Savali, honestly. Jack. So I believe you have to run Psychic for Medium Z, right? Genesis Supernova. Upgraded version of Psychic, yeah. So I need Psychic. Ace Beam for the Zygarde. And I think Aura Sphere takes care of both the Heatran and the Ferrothorn. Obviously, Flamethrower would be nicer for Ferrothorn, and Earth Power would be nicer for Heatran. But this allows us to... And Xatu is hit by the Ice Beam, so yeah. Aura Sphere allows us to hit both of those so that we can run Nasty Plot as well. We do have to run this one Timid, unfortunately. There we go. There's our Jack Tack the Mew. This is going to be our mid-game sweeper, I think. Get some heavy damage on some of this monster so that Zygarde, Houndoom, or Leg Day can clean up at the end, depending on what he brings. So we still have the Araquanid left. I think we're just going to run Leftovers. No, I think we're going to run Assault Vest. Assault Vest, Araquanid, Water Bubble, Scald, Liquidation, Leech Life, and Mirror Coat. So this allows us to potentially take a Z move from Slowbro, Z move from Heatran, take a hit from Xatu like an Air Slash, an electric move from Luxray like a Volt Switch. Yeah, so, and then we want to be running, I think we're just going to run max HP because we can take hits from Zygarde then as well because we resist 1,000 arrows, as well as the Girder because we missed the fighting type. So that would be nice. And then we want... Obviously, we're not going to be doing much to Bulu, but a Scald. Can we EV this so that a Liquidation breaks a Bulu sub? Oh, it automatically does. Well, that's just Adamant. So, what if we ran... No, we want to run Adamant, but... Yeah, Adamant, Bashful. Even no investment, Liquidation breaks a Bulu substitute. Although that is Speedy Bulu, not bulky. How about a max HP Bulu? Adamant, 100. Don't need that much. Alright, so we need Adamant 60 attack IVs. Or we just need 107. So what if we did... No, I think this is fine. So... 60. Wait, why is this being 107 over here? And this is 98 over here. A little 50. A little 50. I'm confused. Oh, because I'm not Adamant yet. That's why. There we go. Okay. Silly Jack. We did find out earlier that even negative special attack nature Scald still did break Zygarde sub, so that's good to know. And then, what speed tier does Girder sit at? Girder. At 40, so we do naturally outspeed the Girder. What about Banette, potentially? Slowbro's at 30. These are all going to outspeed me, so yeah, let's find out the Banette. Is at 75, so that's going to be outspeeding us as well. So we don't... Let's run a little speed EVs, just in case he wants to outspeed us with Girder. And then... Now we'll just run max attack. So that we're denting the Slowbro as well as anything else that doesn't want to take a liquidation. So... we still have the problem with this Chestnut, because he has the two mons that Chestnut is supposed to wall both get Zen Headbutt and do a good amount of damage. I could run Doublade for the Bulu, but then Zygarde sits up all over the Doublade, which is problematic. I could run Rotom, so that's not a defensive switch in. Torkoal is another option, but then again, it doesn't like Thousand Arrows. Yeah, I think I have to stick with Chestnut. That's my best option. It's the only thing that can take stab moves from both of them. And I just have to watch out for the Zen Headbutt. I do have 2 Dark types in case he's banded. Either of his Zen Headbutters are banded. I can switch into those, into my Dark types to be immune. So we do have those options there. So it looks like our main defensive switch-ins are these 2. Obviously, I don't have any hazard removal. So if he decides to bring like Quillfish and Ferrothorn, that is a huge problem. But yeah, so I think this is our team. Just look over our sets one more time. Poison Jab for the Bulu. Leech Seed, Seed Bomb, Synthesis. Do we need Leech Seed? I don't think we really need Leech Seed at all. No, I think I'm going to run Spikes instead. I'm going to run Spiky Shield. Get the extra chip damage if necessary. Yes, so we have our defensive Araquanid and Chestnut. Get that chip damage on some of those. We have our mid-game sweepers in Mew, holding the Genesis Supernova Munium Z, as well as the Choice Banded Zygarde, and then our potential late-game cleaners in our 2 Dark types, Drapion and Houndoom. So this might not be my official team. I do like to revisit stuff, kind of check over things from time to time before a match goes. So I will address any changes I may or may not make right before Skirk and I battle in the same battle video. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought of a live team builder. I'm not too experienced with these, so my apologies if it was rather boring listening to me talk to myself for I don't even know how long I've been recording. But yeah, so I would love to hear you guys' feedback if you guys want me to continue doing live team builders, or if you want me to, or if you just don't even give a shit and just say, Jack, stop making videos, you're terrible at this. But yeah, I would love to hear you guys' feedback. I'm really looking forward to this match, Skirk. It's super scary. I am definitely less confident in our matchups for this season than I was last season, just because you have such a strong offensive presence that just totally annihilates my defensive checks. So yeah, I guess that's it for this video. I'll see you all on Tuesday for the match. Bye, guys.